Yo, what's going on, faithful? It's your boy Mike from the Nothing But Niners crew. Got to get my man Jimmy up in here with me. We are here to bring you guys some breaking news as well as a mailbag section. All right, we're going to try to break this thing down for you guys. But before we do, got to go through the formalities, guys. Thank you guys for checking us out here on YouTube. If this is your first time here, we want to say again, thank you. We appreciate it. Click that like and subscribe button. Hit the little notification bell so you know exactly when we're going live. If we can figure out a time that we're going to start these things, you'll get a little notification that gives you a heads up before we start everything, okay? So that's that. I want to thank you guys for checking that out. Again, hit the website up, guys, www.nothingbutniners.com. There you're going to see some articles written by some great people. You're also going to see our social media handles. That is Twitter and Snapchat, Nothing But Nine ERS. Facebook and Instagram is Nothing But Niners, spelled all the way out. You'll even see our podcast is there also, okay, guys? A lot of these little videos that we're doing, we are converting to podcasts. So we want to thank you guys for checking all that stuff out. If you've never hit us up on the podcast, give us a listen. You get some exclusive content over there too. Not everything that we do here ends up as a podcast and the other way around too. So podcasts get some very, very exclusive stuff there, okay, guys? I got my man Tony here. I got my man Anthony here. How you guys doing today? Anthony, what's going on, man? How's everything going over there, man? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. It's nice to be here on a Friday, answer all these questions because there's a lot of insight to go around here tonight. It should be a good session for sure.
Absolutely. And my man Tony, what's going on, man? Tony in the garage. We got to find out some cool nickname for you, man. People are digging it over there. How you doing?
What's up, Mike? What's up, Anthony? Faithful, what's going on? Got a couple questions we want to answer, a couple things we want to talk about tonight. Let's get it started.
Absolutely. So first, we're going to start with the breaking news. The 49ers have been poached, man. You know, I can't say it enough, man. Kyle Shanahan didn't want any changes happening to his coaching staff. And guess what? These guys are getting grabbed and snagged, and they're being taken all over the place. And this time, it's an assistant offensive line coach. He's going to be joining the Green Bay Packers. Tony, give us some information, man. You know anything about this guy? I mean, how big of a role do you think he played with us, and do you think this is something that we're going to have to replace at some point?
He pretty much worked under John Benton. John Benton's the full-time offensive line coach for the 49ers. He played football at Michigan for a 3-year starter at Michigan. Then he bounced around. He was on a couple practice squads, and then he coached at the college level. He was at San Jose State, and the Niners plucked him off San Jose State and gave him a shot in the pros as an assistant offensive line coach. It's a smart hire by Matt LaFleur. Clearly, Matt LaFleur, Kyle Shanahan, Mike LaFleur, all on the same page. So adding him to Green Bay is going to be a good asset to that team because it's going to be all zone blocking, and that's what he pretty much worked with in San Francisco for 2 years. Moving forward, I think the team will add somebody as an assistant offensive line coach to work with Benton. But like you said, you know, for a 4-12 team, a lot of teams are looking at our staff to add to their staff to make improvements to their team. So something's going right.
Yeah, Stinovich getting grabbed, man. It's something that I don't think is going to be earth-shattering or anything like that, but I want to get Anthony's thoughts on it also. If you have any feels at all about it, man, but break it down, man. Any information on Stinovich or your thoughts of us losing him and what you think that means for the team going forward?
Well, it's kind of upsetting to see that, like, a lot of these Niners coaches are getting poached. I mean, we lost Halfleaf, which isn't much of a loss. We lost Stanovich. We lost Scangarello. And, you know, these guys are going to leave left and right, and I hope no one else leaves. But moving forward, I think Shanahan is really specific with who he's going to want as his next O-line coach. I would expect the next coach is going to be really similar to how Stanovich was. Whether he's going to come out of college or he's going to come from another NFL team is yet to be determined, obviously. If I were to guess anything from college, it's going to be a clear professional style offense because a lot of colleges today run that air raid type. They run that spread, you know, where you don't see the run game much. So my best guess is you could see the O-line coach from Alabama could be an option. The guy from LSU could be an option, you know, any of these guys because they run the ball a lot more than, say, Oklahoma or Texas A&M, Texas Tech, you know, those kind of schools. So, or we could do internal too. It's, you know, obviously yet to be determined. But overall, I don't think this loss is big for the team because the way they blocked last season was really well, considering all the replacements they had with injuries. I mean, it happens. But again, I don't think this is a huge loss for the team. The offense was kind of set the way it was last season. And in this zone blocking scheme, I don't think it should be too hard for these guys to catch on to whoever comes in next. So overall, I don't think it's anything to really fret about. It sucks to lose a good coach, but it's also exciting to bring in someone new too.
You hit it on the head right there. You hit the nail on the head with that very last statement, is that it's going to be exciting to bring someone in new. I do think the 49ers go out to look to replace their assistant offensive line coach, in Stinovich, but I'm wondering a couple of things. One, who it's going to be, and two, what they're going to bring to the table, and three, when are they going to do it? I don't know how much staff gets to participate in the Senior Bowl, but that's something that's got my head kind of racing. I'm wondering if the 49ers are going to be rushing trying to get to that. Do they want to hurry up and try to get these guys hired so they can get their hands on all these guys and work them out individually? Or are they just going to go back over there with like the basics of the basics? Like, it's going to be a full staff and standard position coaches, not assistants to the position coaches. Like, do either of you have any knowledge on how that works out normally? Or also, when is the Senior Bowl? When do we start getting our hands? I'm saying our hands. When does the coaching staff start to get their hands on the players out there and everything, Tony?
It starts next Monday, and actually it's going to be all aired on the NFL Network. So if the fans out there want to watch it, make sure you have the NFL Network. You're going to have live coverage Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And the game is Saturday, January 26th at 3 or 2 p.m. I just set my DVR to record it. But pretty much it is a hands-on thing. I think that they're going to probably have a full staff to go down there, including adding a quarterback coach or making an adjustment in their coaching personnel where they're promoting somebody to a quarterback coach. As far as an assistant offensive line, they might not do that yet because he is an assistant. But on the other hand, they might want their full staff intact to evaluate because, I'm not saying it's going to be a high need, but I'm sure the team would like to add, competition to the inside at the guard positions for Pearson, who's a free agent, and we have Garnett coming back. But, it's good to have your full team intact going down there.
Yeah, I agree, man. And, something else that I've been thinking about, I'm going to let Anthony jump in here also on this before we get to the mailbag questions if he wants. But something else I've been thinking about is some of the positions that we haven't hired yet. I think assistant coaches are one thing, but when you get specifically to the quarterbacks coach, and I think that was a really, really important position for us last year, specifically because we went through 3 different quarterbacks, so it's like this guy groomed and helped these guys get ready to step into the roles, and we haven't replaced him yet. Do you guys, Anthony, I'll give this one to you, man. Do you think that it's possible the 49ers are eyeing someone that is still in the playoffs?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you've seen how the QB coach works with Drew Brees, especially if Drew Brees if this could be his last season, a lot of the times when you see popular quarterbacks who are in their last season, their second to last season, a lot of the coaches leave because they think, okay, well, he's gone. I don't want to be in the new direction of this team. Let me move on to another up-and-coming team. And I'm saying the Saints could be a good example of that because Brees' time is coming up, especially if he comes up to the end of the Super Bowl. And if he doesn't win, that could be it. And like I said, you see a lot of coaches move on from that kind of stuff. Same with New England. You never know. I mean, Tom Brady's a whole different story. We know that. And so is Bill Belichick. He's going to want to keep his staff. But at the same time, you never know if these guys could move on. And the options are open. The options are insanely open for the next QB coach. And like Mike said, I think this is really important. You want to keep consistency with your quarterbacks. You want them to be familiar with the guys they're working with, whether they trust them or not. Everything comes together as one unit, and losing Scangarello like this could be huge. And I'm not saying it's going to damage Mullins. It's not going to damage Garoppolo, but bringing in something new could have a huge impact on the way the quarterbacks play, throw, move. And it's going to fall on these guys, especially Lynch and Shanahan, to find the right guy who's either similar to the way Scangarello was with his team or another guy who could be even better than what Scangarello was, because he was highly touted. I mean, look what the guy was working with. Look what he made out of Mullins. He turned a UDFA into a quality, capable backup starter. You don't see that often. Literally, the only good backup at the moment is Nick Foles, and I can't even think of many others. So when you lose a QB coach like that, it has a huge impact on the team overall. And That loss is big. That loss is absolutely big. And hopefully they can bring in someone important. And I think they will, whether it will be internal or from college or from the playoffs. I like that thought. The door is open for this team. But overall, I trust Lynch and Shanahan. Shanahan, it's his offense. If anyone's going to be more picky about the coach they bring in, it's going to be Shanahan more than Lynch. So I trust Shanahan. I trust the coaches he's going to be bringing in, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And it's going to be exciting. It's going to be really good.
I completely agree with you, man. And I was looking up it's Joe Lombardi is the quarterback's coach over with Drew Brees in the Saints. And the other one that I would be interested in, I don't know if he's going to want to leave, but you see what he's doing with this young Patrick Mahomes, Mike Kafka. Now, these aren't assistant coaches. These are going to be lateral moves. So maybe these teams can, block it if they wanted to. But like you said, a guy that, maybe Mike Kafka won't want to do it because he's got a young upcoming, Patrick Mahomes, who is going to be in the MVP race and things like that, ideally. But a guy who was coaching up Drew Brees and Joe Lombardi, maybe he is looking to attach his name to another, like you said, offense that could potentially be dangerous and have some fun and, add something to his resume. So that'll be a lot of fun to watch. All right, fellas. Go ahead, Tony. I see you want to jump in really quick.
I think Kyle has his guy lined up already. I don't think he's a playoff guy, but it's kind of like the whole defensive line coach situation where they let go of Zanigris. They saw the one guy that they wanted became free. So they cut their guy, jumped on the new guy. I think he has his guy set up. And let's be real here, Mike. Kyle wants a guy, or Kyle is going to want a guy that knows the verbiage of his system, that knows his system all around. Because the quarterback coach is very important in Kyle's system. It's not as important as his two top lieutenants, McDaniel and LaFleur, and the two co-coordinators in the run and pass game. But this guy prepped Garoppolo to be a starter in 3 weeks. I think it was 3 weeks, and then he took over the last 5 games of the season, and he went 5-0. Now, that's teaching Garoppolo the reads, the terminology of the calls, the play, how to call the plays, the audibles, the motions. That's a lot of work for a quarterback coach, and it's an important position to fill. That's why there is a slight chance he might keep it in-house this year, but I think he's got his eye on somebody, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's announced soon.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. It's going to be a change. And again, I welcome these changes, man. You know what? The thing that excites me the most about changes, especially with any coaching staff, right? As long as you keep your head coach and your coordinator, as long as you're keeping a nucleus there, it's that there's new information. There's a new twist that's always introduced with that. You take everything that you learned from Scangarella and then you add whatever you're going to learn from the next guy to it. And it only goes to benefit everyone that's following along. So, I don't really have anything else on it. Let me check the comments really quick in the chat.